What is up? I wanted to try something different and do kind of a quick, just topical discussion on the recently uh, released trailer for the next generation of Pokemon. I've been a very lapsed Pokemon fan. I think really the last game that I really played through was some of the early games, and I don't know why I fell off other than just getting into other things, but I've always had just a passive interest in Pokemon, and I've wanted to play through some of the older games, but most importantly, as you know, the next generation is now beginning, I haven't purchased a Switch yet. A Switch 2, I should say. I have a Switch 1, but I held off on buying a Switch 2 because I really just haven't played my Switch very much. But now that my oldest daughter is starting to play it and more games are going to start coming out for it, specifically this next generation of Pokemon, I'm wondering if now might be the time. So let's go ahead and watch this trailer, and I'm going to talk over it as it plays. Obviously, if you want to watch it clean, you can catch it on the internets. But they did a, I don't know what they call them, Direct? Is it Pokemon Direct? This morning, and they went over a number of things. I think they are putting out a GameCube Pokemon game that I didn't even know about. Again, kind of lapsed on a lot of the different games. I guess I did play Sword, so that would be the last one that I played on Switch. But I didn't play ZA, and I'm very lapsed on a lot of the handheld, which I do want to kind of get into. I have a DS, so I might try to catch some of those, although they're very expensive. So we'll see. We'll see what I can do there. But I'm really liking the look of what this might be. I mean, I think a lot of people are expecting or would like this big graphical overhaul for Pokemon, and I just don't think that's ever gonna happen with Nintendo. Like, it's been proven that Game Freak can definitely create very pretty games, from what we've seen with Beast of Reincarnation, but this is already looking better. There's more character to the environments. The water looks really good, I think. The characters themselves, I think, look more detailed. The grass looks a lot better. I know these are like little dumb things, but some of these little dumb things are the reasons that I've not been interested in really getting back into at least the modern Pokemon games. It's one thing to play through the old 2D games, you know what you're getting into, and honestly, I like the aesthetic of the old 2D games. I think there's a good argument for just doing a similar art style to like Octopath Traveler. I think that would be incredible in Pokemon. But here's the new starters. I think they all actually look pretty cool in different ways. The fire dog is kind of where I'm leaning, although the water gecko is pretty sweet too. And then you have the grass chicken. But yeah, I think all three have their merits. Now, obviously, we don't know what they're going to turn into. And this was kind of a cool thing. Like, are we going to actually go underwater and catch Pokemon? Or are we going to fish them out? Like, what are we seeing with that little clip? And then, of course, the title for these two is going to be Winds, and then the other one is Waves. So I'm wondering, with the Winds, is there going to be like a sky aspect to this Pokemon game, just like there's going to be a water aspect to it? Shout out to GameSpot. We're playing your version of the trailer, but yeah, I don't know. I think this is really really intriguing. They didn't show very much, and some people are probably rolling their eyes with even the thought that this is a big step But I think if you look at ZA especially, I watched a little bit of people playing that game, and I'm sure it is still fun because it is still Pokemon at the end of the day, but just the flat looking environments, and from what I believe I heard, like really isolated areas, like it just felt old, even though it was a brand new game that came out. Did it come out last year or the year before? I can't remember, but it came out in the last 2 years, we'll say, if not last year. So 2025, and that's what we got. But this is already looking like it's going to be a lot better, and it's not coming out till 27, which I think is a good thing. A lot of people probably are like, oh no, we're not getting Pokemon until next year, but it's like they need to take their time. It came out that, and I hope I'm getting the number right, but they spent like $12 to $15 million on ZA. That's insane for a Pokemon game. I'm pretty sure Pokemon makes billions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions at least. And they spent 12 to 15 million on the game. Just do the quick percent on that. Like, that's wild. Now obviously they have a lot of other things that they're putting their money towards, but the game to me is always going to be what everybody's here for, and then the side stuff is kind of what you do on the side. But back to the question, will I buy a Nintendo Switch 2 for this new Pokemon Gen 10 game, or games, because they're still doing that song and dance, which we won't get into that, but I think so. And it's not only for this, it's because we're starting to see some of the games that are gonna be only Switch 2, and I'm hoping that means that we're gonna see games that are truly at least Switch or Nintendo next gen. I think the next gen argument of it ever comparing to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, we all know that's never going to happen. But we can at least see noticeable improvements with this game compared to the ZA especially, and even the other previous Switch Pokemon games. So I think it's going to be worth taking the jump. Now, the real question is, when do we purchase it? Do we wait for 2027? Now, that's kind of a different subject, because if you're not familiar, technology pricing, specifically with memory in both video memory and just SSDs, RAM in general is out of control price-wise right now. So a lot of the handheld, I mean, really just any technology, I don't even want to say console, but any technology, cars, video games, I mean, anything that needs RAM is going to be pressed on these pricing issues that we're having right now with the demand going towards AI and everything else. The Switch is gonna get a price increase. Switch 2 is going to get a price increase. Hell, the Switch might get another price increase. The Switch now costs more than it did when I bought it 7 years ago. I bought the Switch 1 when it came out. And there's no chance that now is not going to be the cheapest time to buy a Switch 2. So, that kind of answers the question, doesn't it? Am I going to buy one? Yes. When? Probably soon. We also have, and I'm blanking on the name as I'm trying to call it out, we also have the next FromSoft game coming out on the Switch 2, which I know I haven't made it apparent, but I'm big From Software fan. So that alone was going to be the Dustbloods. How could I not remember the name of that? That was already going to be a big question mark as far as, okay, this game is exclusive to Switch 2. Am I really going to buy a Switch 2 so I can play the next FromSoft game? Maybe, but now I don't really have to worry about it. I was a little on the fence with the first year, where really the only thing, like even Mario Kart World, I was not super sold on from what everybody was saying. I have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's easily the best Mario Kart you can buy. I think even including World. I know World has a lot of improvements in a lot of ways, but if you just want pure Mario Kart Deluxe, or 8 Deluxe, you really can't do better than that. It has everything you want and more. But am I going to probably buy the bundle? Yeah, probably, because it makes the game $50 instead of $80, which is a whole other subject. Are these going to be two $80 games? Is that really what Nintendo is? It going to be $160 to get both versions of this game for the crazies out there? Maybe. I won't be doing that. I will end up deciding one or the other. I don't know. We don't know what is different between Wind and Waves yet. So that's TBD. But I think between Duskbloods for this year and then Donkey Kong from last year, I'm going to try and see if I can find, maybe I can find it on sale somewhere, which is hard with Nintendo, but sometimes you'll find different retailers will actually have some of these games on sale, or I don't know. I've seen them pop up. Like, actually, I got at Target, I got Super Paper, is it Super Paper Mario? Yeah. I got that for $30 instead of $60. Now I had to buy it physical, but with the Switch, I'm not that worried about it. Now with Switch 2 and the funky cartridges, I'm gonna have to do a little research and make sure that it actually makes sense to buy the physical. But either way, if I can get it cheaper, it still makes sense to buy it physical, because I'll get it cheaper, and I have to download it either way. So I know that's a whole thing with people, that we don't want to support the key cards, but you know, money's money. At least if we can, still get our games and save a little bit of money, and then even potentially be able to sell them back if we don't like them. I think that's another aspect of the argument against physical that a lot of people miss out on. But we're getting a little off topic, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. I really didn't want to make this a very long video, but I just wanted to go over kind of going over this reveal of Gen 10. I think it looks really great. I think the answer is yes. We will be getting a Switch 2 for the next gen of Pokemon. Let me know down in the comments if you are going to get a Switch 2 for the next gen Pokemon. Do you already have a Switch 2? What are you playing on your Switch 2? What are you looking for on your Switch 2? Comment below. Please like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. We're also in the middle of, we're just starting a whole series playthrough of the Resident Evil franchise. Quite a turn from this video, but I did my first video the other night. Gonna try and do another one here pretty soon. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.